Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of 2BadEggs, the show where we read comics about our lives and you also look at them and listen to us read them. We read them to each other and also to you.
And my name's Mary.
Hi. Hello.
And that's Rennie.
And that's the show.
That's the show.
Thank you. Please comment, rate, subscribe.
See you next week.
Follow and like and reblog and retweet and all those other internet things. Good night.
So this week's theme. What is this week's theme? I forgot already. What am I doing?
Worst date is this week's theme.
Worst date.
Which is gonna be good.
All right.
Yep.
It's gonna be good, especially after
boy.
last week's episode.
Oh boy.
So what happened on your worst date, Rennie dear?
My worst date?
That's
okay.
a name for you now, Rennie deer, like the animal deer.
Yes, actually that's fine. As long as it's like the animal deer, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. No, I would never call you D-E-A-R. You're just D-E-E-R.
That's good. That makes me feel much better. Thank you.
Yeah.
Alright, what happened on my worst date? Like, I feel like I start every one of these by being like, I had no idea what to do for this. But, like, really, like, I don't really date or go on dates. Like, dates are not a thing that I do. I mean, like, I've been on, like, a few, but it's usually, like,
now you do a bunch of dates all the time.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's, like,
dates.
with my, I guess I do go on dates. But, like...
Now you do. It depends on who you're dating.
Yeah, who you're dating.
The type of person
I dated a dude for 5 years, and we went on, like, 3 dates that I planned. And some dates that were... I could have done a lot of those for this, and I just didn't want to. For emotional reasons. One day.
Same.
We'll delve into that mess of my life. But right now, we're going to talk instead about a much earlier time. Probably the first date I went on ever of all time, which I didn't really know was a date. So I was 11 years old.
What?
I'm pretty sure I was 11 years old. Because I was with my then best friend, and my best friend when I was 11 years old was this girl who was like a month older than me, and like we were like, you know, the two girls in our school who were like taller than everyone else. We were the two girls in our school who had tits. We were the two girls in our school who got periods. We both like shopped at Hot Topic. We both like
so you're
made
describing
trouble.
me and my best friend.
Yes, no, totally, no.
Old dudes.
This girl who you were talking about, who was just, yes, that is her.
We were the exact same.
Exact same. And I was always like a little bit like, I don't know, and she was like, no, we're gonna do this, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly.
As I believe I've mentioned it in a number of other episodes, I had no friends. I was very lonely. So this was my best friend who I think my parents were like super torn because they were like, look, Vrennie needs a friend really badly because Vrennie spends too much time alone. Like, I got sent to, like, the school shrink for, like, being by myself and shit. Like, people were very concerned about me. But they were also like, this girl she had some troubles. Like, her home life was not great, and there's a lot going on with her. But, like, you know, we watched Sailor Moon together, and listened to, like, Kitty, and we were cool teens.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, she was like the one that got me into Sailor Moon.
To Kitty.
Yeah, yep, like all upset, like, you know, like 11-year-old girls in 2001 were into Kitty.
Oh my god.
So,
this is beautiful.
Yep,
anyway.
So I'm hanging out with her, and she's like, hey, I'm gonna go meet up with these guys. She's like, I want to meet with this guy at the movies. But, like, you know, I'm 11 years old, so I can't get there by myself because we live in the suburbs, so you need to come with me, and you're going to tell my mom we're going to see it together, that we're going with these guys. And she's like, but he's bringing his friend, so, like, he'll be, like...
I'm 100% sure I have been in this scenario before.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, everyone has done this. Like, hey, you need to come with me so I can go meet up with this dude so that, or, you know, your mom can drop us off there. Like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool, like, that sounds like fun. And she's like, yeah, and I'm like, who's this dude? And she's like, oh, he's a guy I met at Bosie's. So if you're not from the great state of New York, you probably don't know what Bosie's is, but Bosie's is something. It's the board of I think it's like correctional educational services or something educational
Oh.
service. It's basically, it's like they run all of the vocational schools like county-wide in
Okay.
like New York State, so every like county has like a BOCES. So they'll do like the radio and television program and cosmetology, but it's also where they send the kids who either have like very special like needs, or kids who get in trouble. So if you get
Right.
suspended from school, if you get ISS or OSS, out of school suspension, for like more than like 2 days, they pick you up on a little short bus and they take you to BOCES. And at BOCES, you're like taking your core classes so you don't miss too much school. But it's like where all the bad kids go. It's like juvie
Okay.
light. So my best friend at 11 years old spent a lot of time there because she got into fights with everybody about all kinds of things, and yeah, she was a trip. So she met some guys there, which, now I'm like, oh yeah, maybe not the best place to meet guys, at the place where you send all the
No.
kids that get suspended from school, but okay, cool. So we're getting ready, and her mom drops us off at the Lowe's Webster, and we're gonna go see Ring of Fire,
Cool.
which is a
Guys are
movie.
cool.
Yep, a really cool movie. We're like, hanging out, waiting for these guys, and finally they get there, they show up, and as soon as I see them, I'm just like, oh, see, now, she told me that these dudes were like a little bit older than us. So I
Oh,
guess I was
no.
thinking like 13. And
Oh.
like I was like, oh, maybe they're like 8th graders. Like I want to say I was in 6th grade at this point, but I easily could have been in like 5th grade.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
summer fifth
Very,
grade.
very
kinda
possibly
thing.
could have been in 5th grade. So I was like, yeah, definitely like
Yikes.
10 or 11 years old. These dudes were not 13. These dudes were like
Oh my
probably
God.
16, maybe 17. And I was immediately like, they are a lot older than us. Like a lot.
Oh,
Like the kind of guys that I would not even consider
no.
talking to, but like would talk to me. Because at that point, as an 11-year-old, I had, 36D tits. Like giant old titties on my little 11-year-old self. So a lot of weird old dudes talk to me. That was something that started happening to me at a very young age. So I was like used to dudes like this, like, like saying shit to me, but I was always like, oh, you're old and that's creepy and weird. So I guess, and I was just immediately like, oh, no. Oh no, I don't like this at all. But this is 2011, so cell phones are not a thing. I didn't get a cell phone until I was in high school, so I can't
Same.
do anything. So I'm like, oh.
Trapped here with these big men.
So
These large men.
Oh, okay. So, we go into the movie and like I sit by like it's like her and like the dude that she's like meeting up with go like sit at the end of the row, and then like his friend sits in between us, and then I sit on like the very end by the
no.
aisle, and I like immediately like cross my arms and like cross my legs and like lean as far away from this dude as I possibly can, because I was like, I don't know. I don't even want to talk to you. I am a child. I'm a little girl. And, like, as much as I'm, like, a horny 11-year-old who, like, thinks about sex all the time, I'm like, you're gross and weird. And, like, just the worst, gross, weird. I'm like, I can't even really remember what they look like, but I'm like,
I want to,
I will
rescue 11-year-old you.
I will guarantee you these dudes had, like, terrible, like, pubic hair on their faces, And, like, this is 2001, so they also probably had, like, giant fucking, like, like, street sweeper pants with, like, the gross, ratty bottoms, and, like, big old puffy skate shoes, and probably a t-shirt over a long-sleeve shirt, and a wallet chain, something with flames on it, maybe even a bowling shirt with flames on it. They probably loved Eminem. And
Definitely.
corn.
ICP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was this kind of like good situation that I'd gotten myself into.
Good.
So I spent the rest of the time intensely watching Ring of Fire. Like, I have scenes of this movie burned into my mind. Like, no one has seen... I have not seen Ring of Fire since. I kind of want to, just to see if it's, like, anything like my intense memories of it, just because I was like, I don't want to know what's happening over there, and I don't want to make eye contact with this man, because he's, like, obviously probably expecting something that I am not... don't really know what, but know that it's not good, because, like, I don't even really know anything. I've never kissed a dude
yeah,
at this point.
point in time.
I don't know shit about sex.
Oh god.
Yeah. So, I just, like, really intensely remember, like, fucking, oh god, Batman. Christian Bale is in it. Christian Bale is one of the few...
I just intensely remember Batman.
I intensely remember Batman, one of the few remaining humans on this earth that has now been taken over by dragons. Dragons are real, and they've ruined the earth, and now people are living in feudal times because all the post-apocalyptic dragon-fueled wasteland.
Wait, this isn't the Johnny Cash movie?
No. This is Reign of Fire. Not Ring of Fire. Reign of Fire.
I thought you were saying Ring of Fire this whole time. No. I was like, so your 11-year-old you went to go see Ring of Fire about Johnny Cash.
No,
that's cool.
Much worse. This is a terrible movie about dragons taking over, and people having to fight mean dragons who try to kill them. No one's seen this movie. Yeah, no one has. No one does, except me. Because I was just like... became so emotionally invested in Christian Bale, and he had tomatoes. God. They were growing tomatoes, and if anything happened to the tomatoes, all the humans were gonna die, and then the dragons come, and they burn up the tomatoes. And I was, like, so upset, because I was just like, there's no hope in this world. Christian Bale and all of his friends are gonna die. They've got no tomatoes. And this horrible man is sitting next to me, and my best friend is doing God knows what with some, like, gross 17-year-old who's probably been kicked out of school.
I just imagine you, like, weeping as the tomato plants burn.
I'm just, like, at a point in my life where I'm just sitting there in the dark, like, what am I doing? What is going on? I've made a terrible mistake. Just, like, slowly zoom in on Joe Bluth, and he says, I made a terrible mistake, and that's me at 11 on my first ever date. The first date I ever go on. And I do not go on a date again until I am 16.
I thought you were gonna say, like, 22.
No, a little bit before that. But not,
God.
Yep.
Well.
So that was a bad
That's
time.
rough.
Yeah.
Do you want to see if I can beat you for this one?
Oh God. I'm sure you can. Considering what happened in the last episode, I'm gonna go with probably.
Yeah. So Vreni already knows that my worst date happened again with the Mushroom Man from the previous episode. Mushroom Man. That's his name.
Mushroom Man.
So, at this point in time, I'm 16. We had been dating for about a year and a half. And he's... Yeah, I know. I stuck with it. To me.
Mary.
I was with him for 2.5 years. Total.
No, don't say that.
Yep. Oh, I was. Very seriously. Upset. And my final, like, year and a half of high school that I spent not dating anybody were the best years of high school.
Yeah, I bet.
In my memory. It was amazing. It was fantastic. Anyway.
I want to start a charity where I help high school girls who date horrible, gross boys because they don't know how good they are yet.
They're They
don't realize yet. And just, like, be like, no, stop. Please stop.
No, there's a really wonderful article out there, I don't remember the name of it, that's all about, like, women... Or people in general dating shitty people because they think that they don't deserve any better. And that was a very,
women in particular, though.
Yeah. And it was just, like, a learning process for me up until, like, current day.
Anyway.
So, at this point in time, a year and a half into our relationship, he's already been in the Marines for a little bit. And he's home for leave on this particular, like, week or something. And he decides to take me out on a date to Baker's Square. And for those of you who do not live in the Midwest, Baker's Square is just basically like a slightly fancier Denny's.
I'm sorry, what?
It's like a slightly fancier version of Denny's or IHOP.
Okay.
It's
Midwest.
Not like...
Yep.
Yeah, it's not even fancy. It's just a diner. Mm-hmm. It's just a diner, and, like, they're known for having, like, shitty frozen pies.
Oh,
like,
good.
That's it.
Okay, cool.
Like, they just have the only thing they're known for is having a wide selection of pies. They're not known for anything else.
Oh, good.
It's just a dumb, shitty diner.
Mm-hmm.
So we go there on a date, which is fine with me because fuck it, I want to eat a fucking Oreo pie or a chocolate pie. Like, I don't give a shit. At that point in my life, I liked Baker's Square because I'm 16 and I just wanted to stick shitty food in my face.
I mean, I still want
So, I mean, yeah. Like, it didn't matter. We were just going on like a dumb thing and I was getting food. So I'm eating pie and... We're like, we're
no, I clicked ahead. No.
So, I'm finishing out my meal, and I'm like still like halfway through eating pie when all of a sudden he brings out this very tiny box. In the Baker's Square. And he proposes to me. Let that sink in. I'm 16. And I start breaking out in a cold sweat. It was like I panicked. And I tried to figure out, like, what to do. Like, it wasn't very long before I gave him my answer, but the reasoning that came into my mind immediately was, well, if I get married now, I won't have to worry about that in the future. This is how 16-year-old me thought. It was like checking... No, it's like checking something off because, like, early on in people's, especially like in the Midwest, I guess, I don't know like where this reasoning comes from, but like there's a list of things that you need to do with your life if you're from the Midwest. One of those is to get married, then you fuck and you have kids, and then you die. Like that is what is expected of you in the Midwest. Everybody in the Midwest gets married in high school. This is a very common thing. So I said yes. In the Baker's Square.
No.
Now, the thing about that is, if anybody ever fucking proposes to me in a shitty fucking diner ever again, I will walk out. I will delete their fucking number. I will never speak to them again.
You should probably also, like, dump something on their face. Like, maybe a milkshake. Or ketchup.
Like, okay.
A whole bottle of ketchup.
The thing, my philosophy now, as something of an adult, when it comes to getting married, is that if you don't have the money to propose to me in, like, a little bit more of a romantic way, then you don't have the money to take responsibility for a divorce.
That's very true.
That's my thing on it, but it's not that I even want like an intense proposal if I were to ever get married in the future. I would have been happy. Like, we had no money at this time because we're fucking teens and he's in the military. It didn't have to be in a Baker's Square. There are places where you can propose for free. We could have gone to the fucking beach.
Oh yeah, it's not even like so much about the money. It's just like about the thought behind it. Like, if you can't think this out, then you're like not adult enough to do this.
You also like don't give that much of a shit. Like,
seriously,
absolutely. Oh god, it was just like we could have done this somewhere not at a Baker's Square. Like, what? Yeah. So I said yes. So I was engaged at the age of 16. And
no.
he immediately, like, turns around, and I guess he fucking knew the couple at the table behind us from school, because he turns around, and he just goes, hey, I just proposed to my girlfriend. And he starts bragging about it in the Baker's Square. And this girl is just like, cool. Like, I'm just there, like, drenched in sweat, eating pie in a Baker's Square. So
oh god, there's more? No, I can't take it.
Sometime later, after being which my mother is thrilled about, which both of our parents are thrilled about, unfortunately.
Oh, Jesus.
My mother one day wakes up and she offers to take us to the courthouse to finalize our marriage and sign the marriage papers.
God, no.
Because at age 16, you need, like, a guardian's written permission.
Yeah. Because the thought behind it is usually that they'll say no.
And she was so ready,
Mom,
for me to get married off at age 16. So ready for it. So we go to the courthouse. And I'm, like, sweating. Like, I have not stopped sweating since he proposed to me. I'm still just, like, perpetually drenched in sweat. And we're going through the courthouse. We walk in, the metal detector at the front door. My mom and I walk through just fine, and then he gets beeped by the metal detector.
Oh, good.
And he stops him, and he pulls out an army knife.
Oh, good.
Just like a giant fucking knife that he just forgot to take out of his pocket, I guess. Yep. And so that, like, gets us held up a few minutes, like a few very awkward minutes of, yeah, my fiance was carrying a giant military knife on him. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
We need to hand that over and then get that back, you know, and to do the thing. Oh. So we continue walking through the courthouse, and we get to the window, like the office section window. It's a window. Where they give you the certificate and, like, help you fill it out and everything. And this big cranky woman just slams the window down in front of my mother and yells through, like, the plexiglass, "We're closed! We close at 4! We closed 5 minutes ago! Come back tomorrow!"
This woman saved your life.
This woman saved my fucking life. This cranky old woman who just wanted to go the fuck home. This woman, so, like, God bless this woman.
This woman saw you and was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna let this happen.
That's judging by, like, how grumpy she was, that might have actually been her thought process.
I think you need to find this woman and ask her to adopt you.
Yes.
This woman is a good role model.
So, that... We, like, continued to be engaged for another year, but we never went to the courthouse ever again.
Good.
And we never got married, and my life is much better without having that on my background.
Jesus. Oh,
I was literally saved by a military knife and a grumpy lady trying to get home.
You really were. You were saved. Thank you. Thank you, the army, and also grumpy old woman. Really, I feel like at the end of the day, it's the grumpy old woman saved you.
Yeah, she could have changed her mind. She could have handed us the certificate.
She is truly an American hero.
Yeah, she's my hero.
And I feel privileged to live in the same country as her.
God. So that was my worst date. Was
wow.
getting proposed to.
Yes,
unexpectedly.
That sounds like the worst. As a teen. Let's just add as a teen.
With a guy who called me fat kid.
With a guy who called you fat kid who brought a knife to the courthouse when he was going to get married, and oh God.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was my teenage years. So subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment,
go lie down
a
for
suggestion.
A little bit, have a drink, and then subscribe to our channel.
Have a drink, and watch more of our videos.
Yep. Watch the one about our cats. That one's a good one. Where we
that
don't
one's
say
nice
anything
and
really
pleasant
upsetting.
and happy.
Yeah, that one's great, and it's got pictures of cats, so it'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
But
So
this one is.
stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more sad and happy stories from your favorite people, Vrennie and Mary.
Yep, that's us.
Have a good week, nerds.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.